Hello everyone, welcome to round 32 I believe this is. So round 32 of the Flocking Geese's My Team Career Mode in F123. And you join us for part 1 here in Austria. So part 1 is the sprint race, which we are expecting some rain towards the end of the sprint race. And then it's the Grand Prix for part 2. So for the 50% session, which is the long session in other words, long is 50%, it's 12 laps. Practiced and qualifying, we dominated completely. We qualified P1. So if we win the sprint race, this will be our second victory in first place in Austria, but it will actually be our third if we finish in the top 3, because we finished second on the F122. But it's a potential another hat trick, like with Spain, because we won 3 races in a row in Spain. So if we do the same in Austria, then that's 2 hat tricks and an achievement which I'll be proud of if we get it, but we have to wait and see, don't we? We can't just predict. So let's get the sprint race over and done with, and get part 2 underway.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management, it's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Goose lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Stroll, Magnussen, Leclerc, Verstappen, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Perez, Albon, Gasly, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Joe, Teo Porcher, Ocon, Williams, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Okay everyone, let's get the sprint race over and done with before we can get to the Austrian Grand Prix, of course. And the lights are out. That's the Goose there, getting away with Hamilton, but then there's what's his face? Sainz there, and that's the Aston Martin behind him. Carlos Sainz getting a good start there from ahead of Lance Stroll, but it's Hamilton that's the real problem here for the Goose as we go into turn 3. We want soft, so we do have a slight advantage, but obviously Hamilton's going to have the advantage later on in the sprint race. It's only 12 laps for the 50% session. And look at that, Stroll is P4 ahead of Verstappen. That's just insane. Meanwhile, close to the back of the grid, someone who's going to get their sack in the morning if he's not careful, and pulls his finger out of his backside, Callan Williams. But we're not talking about that. So your top 5 for the sprint race goes to this Hamilton, our rival, by the way. He is our rival until I believe it's Hungary, and then after that we'll have to get a new rival. And look at that, the Goose sets the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 10, ahead of Hamilton, who is now, as of the end of lap 2, a second behind us. And the Goose gets a 1 minute 6. That's the second fastest lap we've achieved so far in the sprint. DRS enabled in lap 3. Nothing happened, as you would expect, because it's a sprint race. Nothing happens. We're on lap 7 now, and we are. Oh, hang on, Guan Yu Zhou's out. Zhou Guan Yu is out. I don't know if I think this is the second time he's been out this season. I'm sure he's been out before, unless if I'm thinking about last season. There goes the Alfa Romeo engine. well, it's not Alfa Romeo, I think it's Ferrari, but that supply the engine to Alfa Romeo. But that is a worn-out powertrain there, and it's holding up the back of the grid there. You could just see our teammate, who is sandwiched between a Haas and an Alpine, which is I feel sorry for the Alpine. But no. Moving on to this turn 3 now of lap 7. Oh, that was a bit deep there. We got another yellow. We got another caution. What's going on here? We got another retirement. Have we got another retirement or something? Hamilton's still a second ahead of us. He's not stopping. Verstappen is dropping. Yes! Verstappen's out! And it's put out the safety car as well. Holy Jesus! Norris moves up to P5. I think I know what's happened. 2 cars retired in one sector, which is sector 2. So Verstappen must have retired at sector 2. He must have, because you just see the Goose, Hamilton, Sainz. There's Verstappen trying to he overtakes Leclerc, but then has to give the position back to Stroll as he nearly hits him and goes off into the runoff area. Verstappen is out. And because 2 cars, we're on lap 8 by the way, catching up to the safety car. And because we've... now, I'm not really sure on the rules, but I would imagine because of Joe and Verstappen retiring in the same sector, that would obviously bring out the safety car for, you know, you got 2 cars out in the same place, well, same sector, so it's going to trigger a safety car.
5 laps of fuel remaining, 5 laps of fuel left.
Pointless radio communication messages from Mark of the sprint race was just that one just there. Obviously, the Goose still leading the sprint race with Hamilton, Sainz, Stroll, Norris, Magnussen, Russell, Leclerc, Piastri, and Perez. Your top 10. Thank God Perez is still in the race, and it's not Verstappen. But anyway, enough BSing Verstappen. Bottas, Albon, Gasly, Porsche. Porsche is doing quite well actually, I think, even though it's a sprint race. Hulkenberg, Sonoda, Williams is P17. Okay, he's ahead of Ocon, Sargent, and De Vries. If he can get if he can get past Sonoda, yeah, I'll think about it. If he gets past Yuki Tsunoda from AlphaTauri and starts P16 in the race in part 2, then he's got a slightly better chance of staying with us. But at the moment, I want to drop him so bad. But he's got Austria, he's got this Grand Prix coming up, he's got Silverstone, which is the next race, by the way, and then Paul Ricard in France. France is his last race before either he stays with us for actually doing well for once, or we're going to replace him with another driver. I think I have an idea of who to replace him with, but anyway, I think the safety car is ending. Yes, it is. Lap 9. That was a quick safety car. Only 1 lap. Started lap 8 and ended lap 9.
Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car's into the pit lane.
So we're leading, which means we can hold up the grid until we're. Oh, that was a good joke, laugh. Until we get back to racing, and the Goose is putting the pedal to the metal here, and he's off. He's trying to get a good start ahead of Hamilton, and he does. As we go into turn 1 here, lap 10, leaving Hamilton, Sainz, Stroll, Norris in the background, but they're catching up. Okay, this is lap 11 now. Hamilton's caught up with us. The medium tyres are starting to come into play here. The soft tyres are worn out, as you would imagine. It's lap 11. Hamilton goes alongside, tries to overtake around the outside, but the Goose goes around the inside and blocks him. They're still neck and neck here. Never mind Verstappen and Hamilton. This is the Goose and Hamilton we're talking about here. This is much more chaotic and brilliant. Well, I think so anyway. It was brilliant when driving it. I'm not sure about commentating with my own performance. Oh god. Should I get other people to do commentating my own races? I don't know. It would be better, wouldn't it? Make it more surprising. But no, Hamilton's still thinking about it. He's still thinking about it. He had a moment there. But no. Going into the final lap now. End of lap 11. The start of the last lap now. Dearest enable. But it's not really a... doesn't really matter now because it's the final lap. But Hamilton's not finished. He's not finished. He wants to win this rivalry he's got with the Goose after last season. He's trying to go around the outside again. He does. He goes around the outside, but the Goose defends. He's on worn out soft tyres, 12 laps in, and he's still holding back Hamilton. Can this be some kind of achievement? He's holding back Hamilton with he's got better tyres. Okay, they're on 12 laps, but they're meant to last longer than softs. But even still, he's holding back a 7-time world champion. Okay, it's a sprint race. Oh, he's seen her go around the inside. He thought about it, but he has to back off, otherwise he's going to cause a crash. I think it's safe to say, if we go into the final 2 corners here, that the Goose, for the 2nd time in his career, wins the Austrian Sprint Race. As you see the checkered flag. Here we go, the 2nd time round. Get in there! And there goes Hamilton, thinking he won the race.
Well done, mate. Well done.
That's the 2nd time the Goose has won the Austrian Sprint Race. But can we do the hat trick tomorrow for part 2? And the Goose gets driver of the day. Rightly so as well, I think.
So let's review the drivers' standings. Goose increases their championship lead. Well, that wraps up Sprint. All that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Oh, that was interesting, wasn't it? And we won. That's our 2nd victory here at Austrian on the sprint race. Hamilton tried to get the better of us, but we did have a bit of a disadvantage as we were on softs. But we prevailed nonetheless. We get driver of the day as well. I think we got the fastest lap as well. Did we get the fastest lap? Yes. Okay. But that's only because of... Oh, never mind. Shame for Guan Yu Zhou. That's a shame. But I'm more pointing the finger at Verstappen. But no, I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other channel, Tico Sprint, and we'll see you for part 2 for the Austrian Grand Prix. So see you in part 2.